One thing every single one of my clients who knows me well will tell you, I am always about getting where you want to go quickly, with speed, with certainty, and not deviating from that objective. Your ability to negotiate price, terms, and working capital will determine your future financial success. So there are 21 steps in the plan, 21 steps in the system. The first thing is a laser-targeted objective. One thing every single one of my clients who knows me well will tell you, that I am always about getting where you want to go quickly, with speed, with certainty, and not deviating from that objective. If your objective is to pay for your mortgage, objective to buy the holiday home, clear all your debts, whatever it might be, then we'll figure out the way to get there. You need to find the right businesses to buy. The truth of the matter is, there are too many or so many businesses that you could buy. You need to spend a lot of your time saying, no, this isn't right for me. So you eliminate a lot. Saying no gets you to the yes a lot faster. The discovery call is the first telephone conversation with the owner. Note that I said telephone conversation. This is not a Zoom. This is not a face-to-face meeting. This is not WhatsApping. This is a telephone conversation that should be no more than 30 minutes. After a while, those conversations might only last 2 or 3 minutes because you get far more laser focused about what you're looking for. There are typically 13, 14 questions that you ask during the discovery call. And by the end of that call, you've either got yourself the makings of a deal or you haven't. Should you talk about price on that initial conversation? First voice contact with the owner. At the beginning, you probably won't. Not that you shouldn't, you just probably won't, because you won't have the confidence to do so. Give it a bit of time, like 60 to 90 days of doing this, and you'll be talking about price on that introductory conversation. Because you haven't got time to waste. Because you're confident with your deal flow. You know what you're doing. You know what is possible. And you know how to deal with it. Funding the deal. You need to know what's possible. You need to know what the current rates are. You need to know what the current loan-to-values are. You need to know what things you can fund, what things you can't fund, what you can fund with stock, plant, equipment, machinery, vehicles, real estate, debtor books. You need to know what is possible. If you don't know what's possible, how on earth can you put a deal together that's any good? You need to know all of it, not just bits of it. That first meeting, 60% of the time the accountant's going to be there. You need to be able to run a structured meeting. You're in charge of that meeting. It's your meeting. It has an agenda that you've provided them with. It's at a location that you have selected, and preferably they've come to you. So I used to use the reception area of this hotel years ago, and I would do 3 meetings a day, 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And if the 9 a.m. person turned up with an overnight bag because they'd stayed the night before, I thought, I've got a deal here. That's commitment. They'd got themselves a hotel the night before. They're serious. And I would be quite happy if that meeting got pushed back a little bit and the 12 o'clock meeting arrived a little bit early, and the 12 o'clock meeting saw me having the 9 o'clock meeting. So I'm in the reception. It's visible. I'm not in a meeting room. I'm not paying. I'm going to sit in the reception. I'll pay for the coffees, but I'm going to sit in reception because I want the 12 o'clock meeting to know that I've just met with someone, and I want the 9 o'clock meeting to know that there's someone else coming. I want them to be bumping into each other. Even better if they know each other. And in some sectors, people do. Okay? You've got to know exactly how to run this meeting, from what to wear, from where to sit, around a table. The deal needs to be structured with funding. You can do this at the meeting. You don't have to go away and think about it. You can do it there and then, back of an envelope. This is the level of knowledge and confidence that you need to have. If you want to find out how to buy a business successfully, get your free business buying toolkit. The link is in the video description below. Then you can reach heads of terms, quite often with a sub 1 million revenue business, there and then, on the day, with all the shareholders are present. You need to understand, if they have a commercial property, how to deal with that, whether they own it in their pension, whether they own it personally, or whether they own it in the trading company or another company in the group where the trading company resides. The buying the distressed business, you need to know the process for doing this. You need to know how to do something called a prepackaged deal, where you buy the good bits and leave the bad bits behind. You need to understand the buy and build strategy and the numbers. You need to understand the corporate structure. Remember, you do not use off-the-shelf companies. You need bespoke articles. It needs to be done in such a way that gives you the flexibility to add additional shareholders should you so wish. By the way, if you're going to have a partnership, there's going to be someone else in your business, you need a shareholders agreement. The worst time to have a shareholders agreement is after you've bought a business. The best time is before you bought the business. It's like the prenup for the business. Your ability to negotiate price terms and working capital will determine your future financial success. If you are not committed to being excellent at this, you are leaving money on the table. You will be poorer than the person who does commit to this, and you will always regret it because it's never too late to get good at this. With diligence, you need to establish the cash flow and profitability of the business if you were the owner. That is the key thing. Step number 14, understanding the legal process. You need to understand this not as well as your lawyer. No one can expect you to do that. But you need to be able to have a conversation. I can have a conversation about a sale and purchase agreement, an asset purchase agreement. In fact, most agreements when it comes to buying a business, including commercial leases, with any lawyer on pretty much the same level. They will always know something more than me because that's why I pay them and they don't pay me. But I would expect to be able to have a conversation at the same level. I'm never going to have the wool pulled over my eyes. You need to know how to bring together the financing structure, the legals, and the diligence. I want you to consider yourself to be the conductor of the orchestra. The conductor of the orchestra. Think of the one-man band that you used to see a lot. You know, the one-man band, cymbals on the knees here, drum on the back, harmonica here, and the cymbals here, with a cap on the ground collecting pennies. Coins being tossed into the cap, all right? But trying to play all the instruments, coins tossed into the cap. Versus the conductor of a symphony orchestra who doesn't play any instrument, but I think gets paid an awful lot more. That's you. You're the conductor. So you now need to conduct the financing, the structure of the deal, which changes, it morphs over time, the legals and the diligence. You're not personally doing any of these things. You've got Martin doing your financing, helping you with the structure. You've got one of our guys doing the legals and one of our guys doing the diligence. But you are coordinating. This is like an email coordination. The pre-completion checklist is everything that you need to do before you complete, where it's too late to do after you complete because the deal's been done. The people aspects of a takeover are important. Again, I don't expect you to be an expert on employment law, but I can hold my own when it comes to a conversation on 2P, which is the transfer of the employment rights of an individual. Now, whether you're doing an asset purchase, a sale purchase, you're going to be transferring the employees. You need to do this properly. There's a lot of hot water, financial hot water you can get into if you don't do it properly, okay? So understand the people aspects. The people in the business that you buy are your greatest asset or your greatest liability. They will help you boost and grow that business, or they will undermine you and they will destroy the business from within. I've done loads of these. In total, more than 70 purchases and sales. I have got this absolutely textbook perfect, and I've messed it up. I've done both and everything in between. And you need to get this right. I've made all the mistakes so that you don't have to. The takeover week is essential, before and after the takeover. This is a very delicate time. A good deal can turn into a bad deal if you don't get everything right in this process. How you deal with the suppliers, how you deal with the customers, and so forth. So you need a post-completion 100-day plan. We talked about this earlier. You need to know what to do. If you really want to get complex about this, we've got a Gantt chart. Building a group isn't just buying another business. It's understanding consolidation. It's understanding, do you rebrand? Do you put the staff in the same uniform? Do you put them all on the same employment contract? Do you get them to operate out the same office? The biggest challenges you will have are cultural, the people challenges. They are the biggest challenges. And then 21, raising funding to grow faster, to exit, or both. So the what happens next after you bought 1, 2, or 3 of these is you either raise money to go bigger or you exit. So that is our 21-step process. You follow the 21 steps, you get the result. You make up your own system, miss bits out, do it your own way. You might strike it lucky, but the odds are against that happening. Okay? So that is our 21-step system.